Hey there YouTube, how's it going? Nerdy Narwhal here, and I'm back again today to take another look at a 6 scale action figure. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Purearts Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Dragonborn or Dovahkiin Deluxe 6 scale action figure. This is an action figure based on one of my absolute favorite games, so I hope that you can hop in and enjoy taking a look at this 6 scale collectible figure with me. Thank you. So right off the bat, let's get in there and hop into the aesthetics of the figure. While he's not wearing a costume that you probably spent most of your game time playing in, he is wearing the bandit's costume, I think, something like that, from most of the promotional material for the game. This is pretty iconic to the Dragonborn, to that promo material, and it works very well here in 6 scale form. They did a fine job of combining mixed mediums. You have the furs and the plastics. Not a lot of actual cloth goods going into this thing. And the figure looks pretty quintessentially like the Dovahkiin. So they've got that down. If you wanted a Dovahkiin on your shelf, you could certainly do worse than this piece here. And right off the gate, I am going to say that I do think this piece functions better, as well as looks better, than the third-party version that we got from CM Toys. And I am particularly going to say that in regards to this waist area right here. What we got with the CM Toy version was just huge and overbearing, over bulky, flowy, puffy cloth, or not even cloth, but fur pieces. This is toned down quite a bit more and looks more like 6 scale animal furs that would have been used to make an armor. Now, I am going to pull back once again so that we can dive into the accessories that this guy comes with. First of all, talking about the accessories that I don't have currently displayed on the figure, and boy, are there a lot of them. Like I said, this is the deluxe version of the Purearts Dovahkiin, and they definitely earned calling it a deluxe version with the sheer amount of items that they included with this set. So, first of all, you get a fire magic hand effect. Looks pretty nice. Works pretty well for what it is. You get an ice blast magic effect. Again, looks pretty nice. Works for what it is. As well as a crackling electricity magic effect. That's going to do it for the magic effect accessories. As far as extra hands go, you get 2 closed fists, 1 for each hand. You get 2 arrow holding hands, 1 for each hand. You can have a ambidextrous Dovahkiin, and 2 splayed out magic shooting hands. I'll show you real quick just what that looks like with the thunder effect. It's going to be something kind of like that. Pretty neat. And you also get 1 right exaggerated sort of gripping hand. This hand works particularly well with, let me see, there we go, with the fire magic effect. I wish we would have gotten one for the left, but we didn't. And there's even 2 little slots in that effect that are going to help the fingers hold on to that fiery orb. Now, as far as the weaponry goes, as you can see, we do get this pretty cool weapon rack, and it can hold just about all of the weapons on there. The first weapon you get is the steel warhammer. Pretty darn neat little accessory there. It's all plastic, but you can see that they've sculpted some leather wrappings going around it. And they've got all the minute details around. There we go. You also get this great sword. And again, all these accessories are plastic, so even the bigger ones like this are going to be pretty light and pretty easy for this figure to hold on to. You get this smaller one-handed axe. Pretty cool little accessory. You get this smaller steel mace. There we go. You get this large two-handed battle axe. And then in the back here, I have a quiver with exactly 3 arrows. Now the arrows themselves are metal with plastic, so they are sturdy. They don't feel fragile, like they're going to break or snap on you. You get the bow. And I know that regardless of what build we went for, we all ended up playing as stealth archers because it was so broken in Skyrim. Kind of fun. The bow works. And finally, you are going to get this shield, which the character can hold on to very easily in the back there. And that's going to do it for all the accessories that I don't currently have on the figure. Now, as for what I currently do have on the figure, as you can see, he is holding his one-handed sword, and that looks pretty good. I have wrapped the handle, there we go, with a little bit of athletic tape so the figure can have a better grip on him. He can hold that sword on the side there in his scabbard, and that just hooks onto the belt. Now, I didn't like how it hooked onto the belt, so I did wrap it again with some real leather straps to give it an even better grip on the belt. And the sword fits in there very well. It's not going anywhere except for out to be wielded by the Dovahkiin. And finally, he comes with this steel dagger. Now, if you're like me, you crafted thousands of these in the early game to give yourself a nice little level boost. So it's nice that the figure comes with that weapon. And I don't think it's accurate to anything he ever did, but I do like to just sling that across his front torso piece. Oh, can you even see it? Nope. There. Sling it across that front torso piece, just like that sometimes, when I'm not displaying the figure using any of those weapons. Now, one last thing, if you consider it an accessory, he also comes with his iconic Dragonborn helmet. There is some battle damage running throughout it. It's not a clean helmet. It looks like it has definitely been used in battle after battle. Nice little piece right there. Soft plastic, not going to hurt anything. There is, I can't remember if I did that or if it came that way, but there's a little bit of what feels like electrical tape in the top there to sort of help it sit flush on the head. And now mine sits very flush on the head. The head moves with the helmet when I articulate it, which is very nice. So just in case, if it didn't come with that electrical tape padding in there, and I'm the one who did that, don't remember, had this figure for a little bit, I would suggest making that alteration yourselves. All right, so those are the accessories that our Dovahkiin comes with. Let's get into the articulation. Now, as I'm sure you probably heard immediately, when I move the arms a little bit, the joints on this guy are very, very tight. Let's raise him up and try to get our T-pose out of him. There we go. You're going to get about there, going straight out with the shoulders, and that works pretty well. This shoulder piece right here, while that armor does look nice, is a very soft plastic material. It's not going to hinder articulation at all, really. Put it in there. Arm is going to rotate forward as much as you could want. Now, one issue that I have with the body that they chose to use is that, there we go. Those joints are so tight, and it doesn't lend itself to very natural articulation. In fact, the body itself is just kind of cheap feeling. Like I could get this body online, I feel like a gang hood body or something like that, and have the same exact experience. I'm not sure how easy this figure would be to body swap onto something a little higher end than what they chose to use. Maybe I'll make another video in the future showing that off if I decide to do it. The head does have some hard sculpted plastic hair. So you're going to look left, you're going to look right. Oh, you're going to pop the head completely off the ball socket, trying to get it to look back. But there is not really any flexibility in that rubber muscle overlay right there. So you're going to be pretty limited with looking up or looking down. You're not going to get a whole lot out of that. All right, coming along to the side of the figure, you're going to be able to kick up to about right there, virtually unhindered by the fabric armor. You have a huge double bend to the knees. Now those joints are all visible just as they are in the elbows. So it's your call if that aesthetic is not to your liking. Legs come out. The boots are 2 pieces, so you will get plenty of ankle range, forward, back, and pivoting side to side to do with what you want to in terms of posing your 6th skill, Dragonborn. Now, I do think it is worth it for us to take a minute to come back around and just talk about the figure. We just finished up talking about the overall articulation, and therein is probably going to lie my biggest gripe with the piece. The outfit itself was made to be very, very functional, and for the most part, this figure is. However, those joints are just not super conducive to very fluid posing. There, you can get him in a 2-handed battle stance, but everything is so tight, and those joints are so cracky and crunchy that it's tough to get a good action pose right out the gate. I wish that the figure moved entirely like how the legs articulate. Those legs will articulate very nice, very smooth, but everything up top is just way too tight to really be able to do exactly what you want it to do. As well, some of the accessories are just more or less not going to be usable due to some of those issues with articulation. Getting this guy to hold the bow and the arrow is a huge pain in the butt, mostly because of those single jointed elbows, which will only allow you to get up to about 90 degrees or so. Not terrible, it can be done, but combine that with the limited range of motion in the head, and you're going to be looking for angles once you get this guy posed well, as opposed to just having him in a confident pose, which looks good from any angle. So if he's holding the bow, the arms are going to have to be something kind of like this in order to get it to work, which is okay. Is it worth a body swap? I absolutely do think so, But doing something like that is going to be tricky, as this armor is sealed together. Can you see it in there? Possibly. It's all sealed together. And I would have to split that seal in order to get that armor off. It's not going to easily slide up over the shoulders. So whatever modifications I made would have to be permanent to the figure. Oh, and one cool little thing before I miss it, that quiver does plug into the back there pretty well and looks pretty cool doing it. All right, you guys, just some closing thoughts on the Purearts 6 scale Dovahkiin. Is this figure likely to be on anyone's figure of the year list? Probably not. And not just because it didn't come out this year. It came out last year, I believe, or possibly even the year before that. I don't know. I pre-ordered it back in 2021. It's been sitting on the shelf for a little while. Now, that said, while it's not likely to be anyone's favorite figure, it is still a pretty cool figure, and it's the only fully licensed 6-scale Dragonborn or Skyrim action figure, period, that we've ever actually gotten. And it's likely to always be that way. So, I didn't want to miss out on it. I do enjoy having a Dovahkiin on my shelf, even if it's not everything I could have ever wanted. I'm sure at some point in time, I'll go through and I'll do a body modification and likely make another video on that. And then that will take this figure from being a pretty cool little shelf warmer to being a really badass ultimate action figure. And really, I do think that's just about it. It's just the articulation. I don't care about that okay head sculpt because it's going to be wearing the helmet all the time. I'm glad that the armor is all a soft, lighter plastic material because it feels like it's going to last for a very long time. And nothing here really feels overtly fragile. It's a very functional figure, only held back by that darn body that they used. I think a Hot Toys Schwarzenegger body, one with double jointed elbows, might not be the prettiest to use on it, but it would work out really well. Alternatively, for some custom Dragonborns that I've worked on in the past, I've used a Feisen Schwarzenegger body, and while possibly a bit over-muscled for what I had my character looking like in the game, those also worked out really well. And I'm sure there's a couple of mid-muscled Feisen bodies that would look great being used underneath this guy also. I'm not sure. Again, when I decide to do that body mod, I'll do it. Until then, I have the Dovahkiin on my shelf, on my video game sort of fantasy display, and I'm glad I do. He's cool. He looks great there. I also might have forgotten to mention, but Purearts did give us a really cool display stand for this guy. It's the Skyrim logo. It looks pretty swell there. And yeah, I'm happy with it. Am I happy that I paid, well, shoot, I think this thing cost at SRP about $280? Possibly not, before shipping and before taxes. But I'm pretty sure you guys can probably find this guy for sale still to this day. And the deluxe edition is worth it just because of the massive amount of accessories that you get. If I wanted to make a few custom Skyrim guards or bandits or whatever, I have all the accessories that I'm ever going to need to be able to do that. And if I want to change this guy up on display and keep it fresh, I can have him firing off magic or fire or using his bow and arrow or whatever. So it's a really cool figure for that. I haven't looked at the secondary market yet to see if you can find this guy cheaper on eBay or whatnot from other sellers, but I have a feeling you can because it doesn't seem like it's going to be moving too quickly. I mean, it hasn't moved quickly, and it's been around for a while. But once again, just for the pieces that you're getting here, if you were going to do a custom and swap that body out, it's all there for you. So it's maybe worth giving it a try. I can recommend that you pick up this figure. If you were a big fan of Skyrim, or if you sunk however many thousands of hours into it across multiple playthroughs, as I did. And that's going to conclude it. Once again, if I've missed anything, or if there's anything that you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. I'll gladly get at you. Otherwise, stay happy, stay healthy, and keep on collecting. Bye-bye, YouTube.